Not all supervillains need insane superpowers to be the most dangerous and biggest of fads. Some supervillains are more unsuspecting, leaving you unaware of just how deadly they are until it's too late. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. I'm your host, Amanda McKnight.
And it's also me, Jack Stevens. Now, Amanda and I have teamed up today to bring you a list of some of the strongest villains in the DC universe that you probably wouldn't expect to be so strong. And by that we mean like they're either so underrated or they just straight up surprise you with their sheer power.
And if you like videos like this, be sure to click on up there at that supervillain list coming at you if you like more supervillains. Who doesn't like more supervillains?
Honestly,
if you
yeah.
don't, get out of here. I'm just kidding.
If you don't, you're the supervillain.
Oh, it's true.
Let's get right into it, guys. Number 10, Count Vertigo. Now, aptly named Werner Vertigo, he is a man who was born with an inner ear defect that affected his balance. So naturally, he was implanted with a device that not only corrected that, but also gave him the ability to cause extreme vertigo in other people. That's right, his entire ability is disrupting his enemy's balance, and honestly, you might think that's not really anything to write home about, but trust me, it is a lot more useful than you might think. Now, Count Vertigo uses his ability to mess up the aim of even the best marksmen, to disrupt the guidance system of some of the most high-tech machinery, and even uses it to manipulate the emotions of people, causing them to flop between emotions like crazy. Now, there are also two other Count Vertigos that fought against Green Arrow, but they use drugs to cause the same effects in their victims, and we are going to ignore them because using drugs is not cool.
It's true, it's not cool.
It's really not.
Number 9, Calendar Man. Calendar Man to most people is just a guy who's obsessed with the date. But in reality, he is also one of the most accomplished villains. During his first appearance, he almost managed to defeat Batman, one of the greatest and smartest detectives in the world, straight out of the gate, by giving him an almost unsolvable problem. Calendar Man sent an anonymous letter promising to commit 5 crimes, one each day, each one corresponding to a particular season and theme, with the 5th day also being a clue as to the true identity of Calendar Man, with the 5th season. Batman failed to capture Calendar Man on the first 4 days, often arriving too late to the scene of the crime. And on the 5th day, it was only an ad for Calendar Man's side hustle as a magician who was playing 5 days at the Bijou Theater in Gotham that allowed Batman to connect the dots. Where would Batman be without ads from the local newspaper? Local newspapers, they're important.
They really are. You always gotta support local.
Yeah.
Number 8, Phobia. Quite possibly one of the most underrated villains in the DC universe, Angela Hawkins III is Phobia, a member of the Brotherhood of Evil and constant enemy of the new Teen Titans that is capable of bringing your deepest and darkest fears to the surface. She basically uses psychic abilities to access the fear center of your brain and creates incredibly lifelike illusions that incapacitate pretty much everyone except for a select few who have been shown to be immune. Funnily enough, she is actually not immune to her own powers because she has some deep, dark insecurities and phobias hidden away as well, behind that, tough exterior. And that was exploited by Raven in an attempt to convert her to the hero side of things. Obviously that didn't work though, because since then, she has joined the Injustice League as a new member.
Number 7, Giganta. You expect Giganta to be strong, of course, considering she is a gigantic woman, but I also feel like she's a villain that is more often than not forgotten by people. So while you might expect the strength to come along with her, you just wouldn't really expect her at all most days. Dora Azul was attempting to cure her rare blood disease that she was born with by experimenting on herself. Her mad scientist ways caused her to end up in a conflict with Wonder Woman and later caused her to also become the villain she is today. In the original continuity of New Earth, Doris abducted the body of a strong woman named Olga, putting her own consciousness into that body and gaining the ability to grow in size when her plot to steal Wonder Woman's body had failed her.
Number 6, Automatapia. Now, I personally love a good Automatapia, but hey, I will take a bad one every now and then, and that is exactly what this villain is. He is a serial killer that specifically targets non-powered heroes, and he is so aptly named because he imitates the noises around him, such as his gunfire or the dripping water. He is also seen to be surprisingly durable for a human, able to take 6 arrows without slowing him down, and drop at least 7 stories and just keep on running. Now, this highly trained villain is one of the most clever out there, not only attacking Oliver Queen's son Connor, but fooling Batman so much that he reveals his own identity. And also in true villain fashion, he messed with Batman even further by killing his fiancée Silver St. Cloud, slitting her throat while imitating the sound Batman's utility belt makes.
Number 5, Punchline. Punchline is a newer villain on the scene and as such has definitely been underestimated. But honestly, it's this attitude that only serves to fuel Punchline's desire to prove that she is actually worthy of all of that hype. As far as we know, she is like Joker, a non-powered human being. Punchline typically fights with small stiletto blades, and despite only being in a few issues so far, she has managed to slit Harley Quinn's throat and create her own specific brew of Joker venom just for Batman, which has succeeded in making him go pretty crazy recently, imagining Alfred is still alive and still on his communique systems, despite the fact that, He's very dead.
Number 4, Amazo. A super deadly android designed by the insane in the membrane scientist Professor Ivo that acts as an enemy to the Justice League. Thanks to its synthetic body, Amazo is capable of replicating anything about a person in its general vicinity, including their powers and skills, so you can probably understand why this android is so powerful and so dangerous. Amazo has been shown duplicating the powers and skills of Superman, Green Lantern, Zatanna, Black Canary, Elongated Man, and so many more, meaning his arsenal of powers to choose from is absolutely ridiculous. Not only that, he also has the ability to temporarily negate the powers of the hero that he's mimicking. So, for example, he could strip Superman of his powers for a finite amount of time and just pummel him into the dirt. That is absolutely insane if you ask me, and that is why he is on this list today.
Number 3, Harley Quinn. In Batman the Animated Series, Harley Quinn unintentionally pissed off the Joker because she proved just how valuable of a partner in crime she was, and how capable she is as a villain without even the Joker's help. And has also done so with her pal Poison Ivy. Though of course Harley and Ivy just believed they had kidnapped millionaire Bruce Wayne at the time and made him take them on a shopping spree. But still, that's pretty impressive. While many also think that Harley is always moving closer to becoming more soft and more of a hero than a baddie, let's not forget when she executed one of the most villainous plots, also without the Joker, killing tons of children across Gotham with free explosives that were disguised as video games, simply because she was bored and sort of feeling lost in terms of what to do with herself. So yeah, don't underestimate Harley Quinn.
Number 2, the Reverse Flash. Eobard Thawne, one of the many speedsters that you'll find scattered throughout time and space in the DC universe. Also known as Professor Zoom, this biggest Flash fanatic to ever live is capable of basically all the things that the Flash and his Speed family can do. You know, like time travel, super speed, and electrokinesis. But what really sets him apart is his ability to completely negate another's connection to the Speed Force, effectively stripping his fellow speedsters of their powers and rendering them honestly useless. His most impressive feat though would probably be when he, you know, set the entirety of the New 52 in motion by creating the Flashpoint timeline. Almost every hero and villain dies in some gruesome death thanks to the circumstances of this new universe, and yeah, that's pretty scary if you ask me.
Number 1, Lex Luther. Now when you boil it down, Lex Luther is just a dude. He's just a bald dude who has a big beef with Superman. Whether that's because he doesn't like the fact that Superman's an alien, or he blames Superman for his hair loss, depending on the comics you're reading. The fact remains that his brilliant intellect puts him in the running to be one of the strongest, most powerful, and definitely most iconic Superman villains of all time. The fact that 1, Luthor is also a human who keeps one of the most superpowered heroes, Superman, on his toes, and that 2, he managed to convince the country, despite being a supervillain, to vote him in as president, are both pretty impressive. Thanks so much for watching, Nerd Squad. What are some of your favorite unexpected villains? Who do you think is the most powerful of those you wouldn't otherwise expect? Do you like when we co-host together? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time for Jack and I to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 X Factor Team Facts You Need to Know.
Rimbod1132 said, if Peter David ain't writing it, I ain't reading it. Honestly, fair enough. Peter David is an absolute legend, and honestly, I don't think he steered us wrong so far, right?
No. He has a really good X Factor team as well.
Exactly. So if he's writing it, we're all reading it.
Kingdom Come Superman writes, whilst I hate what they had to do with Scott and Madeline, I'm glad they made repercussions happen for Scott and it wasn't just discarded. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad they didn't just like pretend that that never happened. And while it was heartbreaking for Maddie and I really felt for her, Scott leaving did lead to all kinds of characters involved becoming just way more interesting, Baby Christopher included.
We love Baby Christopher.
Without him, we'd have no cable, you know what I mean?
Exactly! Scanto Pup wrote, I hope they'll introduce X Factor in the MCU first, and then expand to the other X-Men teams. Yes, absolutely, that is definitely the way they should do it. Really though, I have to say, I just want more mutants in the MCU in general, right?
That would be great. Like, honestly, we don't have enough. Let's just do all the Dawn of X teams. Let's just put Dawn of X in there.
Yes! All I'm saying is Disney, it's time. Just give us what we want, please? Come on.
Sunstar comments, I've always loved the original X-Men and was happy when they came together for X Factor. That first iteration was great. I still can't get over iBoy, and Amanda, you can't stop loving him. I can't stop and I won't stop. I still really want to get just a bunch of googly eyes and do like an iBoy cosplay. Actually, I feel like Jack could probably do a pretty good
I could probably do it.
You could definitely do it. You also already wear glasses.
I really just want you to come into the office one day just covered into googly eyes.
Yes!
Alright, so this next one, I'm not super sure how to pronounce that, so I am just gonna say Bill. Bill commented, it would be nice if Disney Plus made a show about the X Factor with the whole investigation concept. Could be awesome if Xavier reunites a group to search for mutants, around the world, as long as the main team will be more like superhero. And then he went along to say his dream casting, where my dream casting would be Emma Dumas as Polaris, Scott Eastwood as Havoc, Cameron Monaghan as Shatterstar, Michael Cimino as Richter, and Yara Shahidi as M. First of all, great concept. If Disney passes on an opportunity like this, then they're just missing out.
I agree. Also, like, you just thought that out so much.
Yeah, right? Like, good for you. And second of all, just fantastic casting, my friend. Personally, I love Cameron Monaghan, and I would love to see him in that role. Honestly, if anyone else has some fan castings, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. Broken Bridge asks, I wonder, who will portray Wolverine in the MCU? Does anyone have any idea who it will be? I hope it's someone good. Now, I did like the suggestion that we had a little while ago of Taron Egerton as Wolverine. I know that that's a name that's been thrown around. I don't know, what do you think, Jack?
Honestly, like, I love Taron Egerton, don't get me wrong, like, he is so good. I think he'd do a really great job. I personally think we need another singer.
Ooh.
Like Hugh Jackman, who did the Wolverine.
Okay.
And Taron Egerton, if you saw him in Rocket Man, or even in Sing.
Yeah.
He is so good. So yeah, he needs to be in it.
Or we could just have, you know, X-23, which I'd also be cool with.
True. Kevin Hansen comments, I always liked the 1990s Polaris. She was snarky, confident, and considering what happened during the Muir Isles saga, she is one of the more powerful members of the X Factor team. Of course, they also hinted that that confidence was overcompensating for a sense of not feeling attractive, but I digress. Kevin, I could not agree with you more. That old Polaris will always have a special place in my heart. She was a great character and 100% still is, and I honestly can't wait to see what else they have in store for her.
Man, Polaris, like, not feeling she's attractive. I'm just like, girl, you need more mirrors.
Right? Come on.
Gorgeous.
Once again, thank you so much for tuning into this video, everyone. If you haven't already, subscribe to Top 10 Nerd to stay up to date on all things nerdy, and while you're at it, why not ring that notification bell so you know whenever we upload a video. As always, my name is Jack.
I'm Amanda McKnight.
Make sure to stay nerdy, my friends, and we will see you next time.
Bye.